If you want to know how dire things are in the White House right now, just know that today, Donald Trump left an event without trying to bring attention to himself. Yes, Donald Trump was rushed out, rushed away without trying to bring attention to himself. Attention is the thing that Donald Trump loves most in this world, and he was afraid of it today. And it is because Natalie Harp has ruined everything. Or I guess I should say Senator John Ossoff taking a big swing, and I'm a big fan of it, man, is what has ruined everything and has the entirety of the White House scrambled. And it just got worse. With new letters that have been revealed by the Daily Beast, we are going to get into how scared Donald Trump is and why everyone in the White House should be humiliated and held accountable for the disaster that is Natalie Harp's influence over the president and over our country. But it all begins with something Hunter Biden said today on Natalie Harp that I thought was just perfect. It's where I want to begin before we get to Trump rushing away and more Natalie Harp news.
Yeah, you know what you know what I think is this fake at least response from like people like Scott Jennings that are aghast at how could you do this, and then what a that is somehow misogynistic or otherwise. Just everybody take a step back. If this relationship was with a 35-year-old staffer in Barack Obama,
right,
and what would they be doing right now? What would they be doing? What would they be doing if it was my dad? But just even more so, take it in the, if it was in the Obama administration. And there was a 35-year-old staffer writing love letters to the president that sleeps on the cot at his country club to be closer to him and professes that anything that he, all of the things that we now know that she has professed through writing to the president for somehow that we know all of this shit. It is. There's a level of it, which is just like, who is this sociopath, this psychopath that is that's a meter away from the football, from
right,
the most powerful man in the world that has this level of access that we now know that went for a year without getting a security clearance at all. That basically is living in with Donald Trump on a 24/7 basis, and. I mean, even her brother talks about it. So, like the idea that we can't question this, that they're somehow offended by the idea that this is we should protect this 35-year-old individual person's privacy. You know what? Go fuck yourself. You got to be kidding me. I really mean it. I'm sorry for the language. My
No, you're
dad
good.
keeps
Don't
telling
worry.
me
This
you
is
got
a
to stop with the
pro.
language.
This
But
is
are
a
you
pro
kidding
F-bomb
me?
show.
Are you joking? Just on a policy perspective, just from a national security perspective, but also from the perspective of it isn't just weird to us; it's weird to everybody, and it is. And if I can't question that, but they can question whether or not it was appropriate, and spend literally 15 years still talking about when Barack Obama wore a tan suit. I mean, these people are out of their minds. I mean, they are out of minds. Their hypocrisy knows no bounds.
The media has not covered this story nearly enough until Sunday. It should not have taken a United States senator having this massive and mega viral moment for them to have paid attention to a story that the independent media has been covering for months now. We have been covering the little affair, the little relationship, or at least the little operation as Donald Trump's nurse that Natalie Harp has been carrying out. People have been talking about Natalie Harp actually for a while on how weird it is that she hangs around Donald Trump as Melania is always absent. And it's not just that she hangs around him professionally at work. They don't really do a lot of work there, but she would hope they would do more hanging out outside the normal business hours. That's what these new letters reveal, and it's what we got to talk about before Trump rushing off. Natalie Harp's intimate letters to Trump revealed in full. Trump's biographer, Michael Wolff, is revealing 2 bombshell letters Harp wrote to Trump, calling him her guardian and protector. Natalie Harp's intimate letters to Donald Trump are being revealed in full for the first time, showing her spilling her heart and saying she is unworthy of him. "You are all that matters to me," Harp writes to Trump. "I don't want to ever let you down." The Daily Beast is publishing these letters amid swirling questions over the national security implications of 35-year-old Harp's status as 80-year-old Trump's most significant gatekeeper, even being used as a conduit to the president by foreign leaders. David Axelrod, a senior advisor to Barack Obama, described the situation as a deadly serious issue on Thursday. Harp was one of the small number of people who accompanied Donald Trump when he fled Air Force One in a catering truck in Turkey as left behind Secretary of State Marco Rubio, staff journalists as flying decoys while he flew in a secret plane to avoid an apparent Iranian plot to target Air Force One. The extraordinary letters were written in 2023, either during or after Harp accompanied Donald Trump to a trip to Scotland and Ireland. She was 31 and Trump was 76. They reveal Harp's utter devotion to Trump. She even tells him she is envious of women whose only job seems to be to talk with him, and look pretty. Oh my God. I want that job, she writes in the letter, saying she missed the days when he would call and we'd talk about everything and nothing. We shouldn't have to talk about work all the time, she tells Trump. These letters are incredibly weird. I'm sorry, I thought I was the only one left behind last night and had no idea Margot's car was also pulled over and sent back to the airport since I was alone in the van outside customs without my passport. I panicked and should have just called Secret Service instead of you. So she was calling Trump directly. I don't even want to read all this because it's just so uncomfortable, but let's look at another letter. I want things to be right with us. I also know I've been distracted all week, forgetting to eat throughout the days and even forgetting to sleep and only catching a couple of hours at a time. God, this is very uncomfortable. Thank you for being my guardian and protector in life. That's what I wanted to use this card for. When you saw me at the cash register and once again did what you didn't have to do and gifted me with mementos of this trip of a lifetime, a coming of age, I will return a better person. I have to sign off now as the cars are leaving. See you soon. With all my heart, Natalie. Blah. So this is just fucking weird, right? This is weird. I want to talk about the national security implications, but I also want to talk about how for the first time in Donald Trump's life, this has made him avoid the press. Donald Trump, after Melania Trump's White House return, it had been a month since Melania was seen in public. Well, Donald Trump ended the event, or at least the event was ended, without Donald Trump speaking. You can see him there in the first row, and then he just walked off. No conversation with press, no big announcement, no Trump answering questions. It has gotten that bad. It's gotten that bad that Donald Trump is just running away. He is running away from the Natalie Harp problem. He does not want to answer questions about Natalie Harp because it has gotten that bad. And it should have from the beginning, because this is an incredibly weird relationship. I think saying incredibly weird is putting it lightly. And you know what? There are right-wingers freaking out right now saying that it's disgusting that Senator John Ossoff would accuse Donald Trump and Natalie Harp of having an affair. Well, let me set the record straight. Ossoff wasn't doing that. I think he's read enough of the Epstein files to know that Donald Trump isn't interested in women that are Natalie's age. He prefers, well, I don't even need to say that. But this did do such an important thing, which is bring to light this national security concern. And Natalie Harp should be criticized. She's not just a poor little girl, she's a 35-year-old fascist. And it's why I'm glad Senator Ossoff said this.
Said, we just heard it, he wants to build his ballroom and travel with Natalie on their apparently defenseless flying palace gifted by the Emir of Qatar. Why do you think that's the line that bothers Donald Trump the most?
Lawrence, it's been amazing to watch this White House melt down over this all week. And about Natalie Harp, these White House staffers are adults, public officials paid by the taxpayer with immense power in positions of public trust. And whether it's Natalie Harp printing out Donald Trump's daily dose of delusion and flattery, or Peter Navarro steering taxpayer-funded loans to Trump family investments, or Pete Hegseth deluding the president daily into deepening this quagmire in the Middle East, no one cares about their feelings. The sailors on the Lincoln are fighting his war, a war based on lies, while he plays with his new ballroom, flies around on a jet given to him by a foreign prince, and retreats into this circle of sycophantic aides who tell him every day what he wants to hear, not what he needs to hear. This entire White House is responsible for lying the country into war, and for the rest of their careers, they will be known for having participated in this obscenity.
These people are adults. If they want to commit crimes like adults, if they want to do corruption like adults, if they want to have relationships with adults that are much older than them, they need to behave and be punished like adults. She's 35 years old. She's not a girl. She's a woman. She's a fascist, most importantly. That is the point I will continue to come back to. I will also continue to come back and say that the people who are getting a little queasy over this within the Democratic Party, because Republicans are going to bullshit, But any Democrat who's like, well, I don't know if we should say these things, I want you to shame the shit out of them. This is a practice run for us. If we are able to hold Natalie Harp accountable, and I don't mean put the cuffs on her yet, although she should be in jail for stealing our classified information without a security clearance. That's just the truth. It's a fact. But if they're not ready to subpoena or call out this woman who works in the White House, they won't be able to meet the moment. That's why what Senator Ossoff did was very encouraging to me about his 2028 prospects. Not that I don't know if John's looking for my endorsement in particular yet, but that's the kind of gumption that we need. Because it's not just like a fucking fantasy. And this is not some conspiracy theory by the left. People in the White House can't stand this woman, according to new reporting.
There are top White House aides. There are many people in the White House frustrated with Natalie Harp that do not like Natalie Harp. At the same time, what do we know? President Trump, very fond of Harp, wants her in his inner circle, wants her to continue the role of feeding her the information that he's receiving. So what is really fun and interesting to watch right now is this dynamic that White House is striking up, where they are publicly denying a lot of these claims about Harp, but also there are people inside the White House that do not want her. The attitude of the calls coming from inside the House, that's what this kind of feels like a bit in this moment. But the president, we know, very fond of Harp, and so top aides are having to walk this balance of she's not helpful to the president in the work that he does, but also we know if you're a loyalist and Trump likes you, you stick around.
To be clear, is that the frustration that she's just handing him this sort of information and the proximity she has to him each day?
That's a big part of it, is that she's controlling in sorts the information the president is receiving.
Yeah. It affects a lot of things, including policy and decisions being made around the world.
Even her own colleagues find the shit weird. So why can't we talk about it? It is our job to talk about it. They work for us. We pay her $160,000 a year to carry Donald Trump's diaper bag. Natalie Harp allegedly was the one who posted that racist, vile video of the Obamas depicted as apes. We pay her $160,000 a year for that, and to rush and get Donald Trump a Diet Coke, although I think he likes the full sugar ones, and we can see it in his ass. No, I'm allowed to ask questions of Natalie Harp. I'm more than allowed, and I should. And if the mainstream press doesn't, keep on failing. We'll succeed. We'll call them out, and if you want to support our work on this show, as always, you can hit that subscribe button, leave a like on this video. If you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments. If you want to take one step further in supporting our show, do go over to my Substack and become a paid subscriber. If you can, support the show that way. It is a great way to help our efforts. Keep on fighting, y'all. Don't let them silence you. And until next time, I'll see you soon.